Hello, my name is Sonale Gillespie. It's tough being a teenager today. It's also tough being a parent today. In the next 30 minutes or so, you will have the unique opportunity to hear from 6 young people who have had time to reflect on their lives while participating in programs at McLaughlin Youth Center in Anchorage, Alaska. McLaughlin is a locked juvenile correctional facility. For most kids at McLaughlin, it is a long, hard road that leads them to being locked up here. The kids you will hear from have graciously agreed to talk to you, and I hope you listen carefully to their honesty and insight. They have gained wisdom, not through good luck, but mostly through tough times and many unfortunate choices. Time removed from their families and the community has given them a chance to figure out what got them to where they are and what could have made a difference to them earlier in their lives. They have much wisdom to share. So what's the toughest part about being here in McLaughlin?
I'd have to say when my family comes in, and then they leave, I can't leave with them. It's like I can't, take them out to their car, be like, okay, I love you guys, I'll see you later. It's stuck with, oh yeah, I'll see you guys next Wednesday or next whenever visiting is, and my dad works a lot of the time, so he can't always come in, and I can't always see him all the time, so it's kind of hard seeing him go. Especially when my little niece comes in, I get kind of a little upset because, it's really cute and I like, just being a little uncle to her and stuff like that, but
How is going to an outside school and then having to come back
then you get these embarrassing questions. Oh, where'd you from? And, I'm like...
Why is that embarrassing?
I guess I don't really want people to know that I'm, locked up. Because they can't just because people usually shy away from you.
That's interesting because some students or some young adults will be like, it's status, I was locked up.
Yeah, I mean, they can think, oh, that's cool, yeah, but I think it's kind of dumb that you'd waste your freedom. A lot of kids, they'll be guilty for a crime and they'll go in and they'll say, oh, I didn't do it. And then they'll waste another 6 months in detention, until they get instilled by their PO. It's just complete waste. It's not worth a crime in the first place. Maybe a couple minutes of fame, yeah, you'll get that. Oh, I'm cool, I stole somebody's car. But then you got to pay for it.
So that is cool then?
No, it's not. Then you got to pay, close to $6,000 in restitution because you decided to steal someone's car.
But you had mentioned that you were in other residential treatment facilities before arriving here. So what do you think helped you realize this?
Miss my family too much. That's probably the biggest thing. Is not being able to go, fishing, going to Kenai, hanging out with the parents, hanging out with my grandparents. And my grandma's, I don't even know when she turned 68. I was there, last time I was there, she was like 64. So, it's 4 years, it's just been a blur. Haven't done nothing with my life, and I'm tired of it.
Well, I keep saying you miss your family and stuff. I mean, you had them. So, I mean, why didn't you think about these things when you were out there? What made you think about all these things?
Sitting in a jail cell for so long, I get more time to think. I'm not out running around, it's not, I used to think by the minute, like what happened next. And now I think what's going to happen in 6 months. It's not, okay, I got to go do this. I'm going to go with my friends. We're going to go get high, then we're going to go drink, then we're going to go to a party. That's what's going to happen. But realistically, now that I think, all right, if I get drunk with my friends, I'm going to jail. I don't have that option. I'd rather not.
So what would you tell parents out there who have children who may be going through similar things that you are?
I'd have to say to just pay attention to their behaviors, because I know a lot of my friends, when they were, doing what they were doing when they started to, they were cool with their parents. And then over time, they just started to separate. They started to get further and further away from them because they wanted to hang out with their friends. Because a lot of my friends wanted to portray themselves as somebody that they're not. And I like that too because I wanted to be something that I'm not. I want to be, oh yeah, I'm the cool guy. I can go out and I can steal anybody's car because I know how to do it. But just because I know how to do it, why didn't I just decide to get in a good job, with like security or something, figuring out how to make cars so nobody can steal them. So I guess that's what I tell parents, is to notice the signs, notice how their kids are acting. I think the biggest thing is you got to get to the kids before they're down that road. Otherwise, they're just going to say, this is what I like to do, and that's what I'm going to do. I think that if the kid knows, like deep down inside, I knew, like, all right, I'm going down the wrong path. I know I'm going down the wrong path. And a lot of the kids, they're screaming for help. They want help. They want, all right, I need someone to sit down and talk to me. But their egos are too big. They're not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm going to talk to you. I want to talk to you. They're not going to come to you. You got to go to them. And if you don't go to them, then they're going to do what they think. Because a lot of teenagers nowadays, just they do what they want, and that's what it is. And if you're not there to help them, they're not going to ask for the help.
So what are the chances of you using again?
Probably slim to none.
Why do you say that?
Because my dad, he's tired of me coming in here. He's going to do what he needs to do to make sure that I do what I'm supposed to do.
But what about those friends out there? I mean, it's
it's
going to be hard to...
Not really, because they said that you're friends, but when I was in here the whole time, none of them wrote me. I haven't gotten nothing from them, not a birthday card, nothing. Even the girlfriend that I had, she didn't send me nothing, didn't write me, didn't do nothing. I mean, people forget about you when you're in here. That's the truth of it. It shows you who your real friends are. My family's been here the whole time I've been here, so it's not worth it, man. I'm telling you, it's not. Biggest change would have to be, just the way that I think about things now. It's not like I think things through. It's not just like what I want. That's what I want and what's going to be best for other people too. It's not a selfish need inside me to go and party with my friends. It's not like that no more. It's like, my family needs me. I got to be there. I guess I don't know. I guess that's what I've wanted the whole time, is just to be able to be dependent on, to be there. And when I was out there like that, I guess I couldn't be. Like when I was in middle school, I used to go to Clark, and I used to get fights, and I used to bring drugs to school. They'd search me and they'd just take my lighters, say, oh, well, you're not supposed to have this, why'd you have it? I'd lie to them. I think that some schools should look into that, because that's when I started, in middle school is basically my turning point. I used to come to school high all the time, pass out in class.
So what would you have wanted those teachers to do?
I think I would want them told somebody.
So you wanted to get caught?
That's probably would have been the best thing, would have been to get caught. That's probably would have been the best thing. Because I wouldn't be here right now if you think about it.
But at that time?
At that time, no, I didn't want to get caught. But
okay.
In the long run, it would have done me good. Because I would never be in here.
Is this place that bad?
It's pretty bad. You'd be surprised. And some of them, they're just going to act tough the whole time they're here, and they're going to spend 2 years and then come back up and do 9 to 11 months. But
it sounds like this place helped you out quite a bit.
It helped, but it wasn't worth it. I mean, yeah, it did. It taught me skills over again. Kids learn these skills. They know right or wrong. They know that if my parents say you don't do drugs, and people are saying don't do drugs, they're saying it for a reason. There's a lot of kids too that people say don't do drugs, they don't do drugs.
What do you care about now?
What do I care about now? It's kind of tough. I say everything. Like, I care about having my own room. I care about having a pet. I care about using the bathroom, not sitting on a steel toilet. I care about a lot of stuff. I care about not using a short towel. I care about being outside when I want to be outside. I care about a lot of stuff. Because those things, when you get caught up, they get taken away, and it's not worth it. I just say, to everybody else out there, you can change your ways, otherwise this is what's going to happen.
But what if they're out there right now thinking the way you thought back in middle school, where you don't care?
They're going to end up here. They don't care, they're going to end up here.
Whatever, you're whacked. I would never get caught.
You're going to get caught sometime. It's whether you want to be on your grounds or you want to come and you want to stop whatever you're doing. You could steal cars, you could smoke weed, you could do drugs. That's cool for a little bit. But then that's all going to come down. And you're going to be stuck in a jail cell crying because you want your parents. And that's all it's going to be.
How many times have you been here?
5 times.
First time didn't do it?
No.
What makes you think this time will do it?
I don't know, because I'm older.
How old are you?
18 right now.
Whose fault do you think it is that you're in here?
It's my fault.
But a lot of kids say that, but then they're like, my family didn't have money, I was hanging out with the wrong crowd, Alaska's boring, and yet they say it's their own fault.
Shit, that's just life.
What does your family think about you being in here?
My bros think it's cool. No, mom and pops, no.
That's what I'm saying. There's gonna be a lot of kids out there who think this life is cool. What do we tell them?
Man, if they want to learn the hard way, like my older bro used to say, let them find out. You know what I'm saying?
What would you have done differently?
When I was out,
Before getting caught up in here?
I don't know. Kind of think what I was doing was right. That's what it seemed like. Everything I was doing seemed right. I mean, the way I was making money, it was to support my needs. You know what I'm saying? Even my family. Most of that money went to my folks. So I thought I was doing something good. I guess not.
When did you know it was wrong?
When I got caught.
So those kids that are out there doing the right thing, selling drugs, helping their family pay the bills, what would you say to them?
Do what you gotta do. Nah. That's what I would have told them before. But now, since I've been there and done it, I don't know, they just got a choice. You know what I'm saying? If they keep doing what they doing, they gonna end up eventually going through what I did, what I went through,
That's the only option?
or dead.
Who's been here for you since you've been here?
My mom and my little brothers, they help me out a lot.
What do they think about you being in here?
My little brothers, they don't like it. And my mom, she was mad when I came in here. She started crying and stuff.
How does that make you feel when you see her cry?
I don't know. It's just, I don't like it. I cried when I came in here my first time too, because I didn't know what to do. It's mostly the kids' choices. Like, we choose to do these things.
Why'd you choose to do that stuff?
Because I wanted to buy things. I choose to sell drugs because I wanted to buy things that I didn't, or that I wanted, not things that I needed.
Like what?
Like clothes, cars, and I did buy drugs and stuff like that, just to look cool, I guess. That's mostly what all these people are trying to do, just get a reputation.
For who?
For everybody else. That's all it is.
What kind of reputation?
Any kind of reputation. If you have something that other kids like look up to you and think that you're cool, then that's basically what a lot of kids want.
What did you have out there that made you look cool?
Drugs.
Drugs made you look cool.
That's what it is, though. Because, like, for selling drugs, I mean, you get a lot of friends, but I mean, it's not positive, but I mean, you start meeting new people, all kinds of things happen, like when you sell drugs or use drugs. And I don't know, that was my whole thing.
So let's say you came home one day and you saw some drugs in your brother's room, what would you say to him?
I would tell him I would tell him to stop messing with that stuff, because all it's gonna do is end him up in jail, and he ain't gonna like it in there, because you can't do nothing. They take all your rights. You gotta ask to use the bathroom. It's just things that you don't want.
So if your mom said, you don't want to do that, that's bad, you're going to end up in jail, would that have worked? That little statement to your brother, is that really going to convince him not to sell those drugs that he
To
has?
my little brother, I think it would, because they look up to me. I didn't really have no one to look up to. I just listened to my mom, and then it just stopped, and I started doing stupid things. But for my little brothers, he already thought about stuff like that, because he had friends, and I told him he can't hang with them because that's not what he wants to do, and he don't hang with them no more. He don't do none of that stuff. He just doing school, just living cool.
But, you're not really being real with him. You're caught up in it, you did it, so why can't he do it? He has an image to maintain, right? So his brother is cool because he's in McLaughlin and he sold drugs. And I'm at school doing my homework. I'm kind of square.
That's not how it goes, not with my little brother.
How do you know that?
Because
Again,
I have a close relationship with him. He tells me everything.
but Alaska's boring to him.
Nah, he don't have a problem with Alaska. See, I think it started in school when I started hanging around negative people. See, at school, he got a bunch of friends. They don't use drugs, don't do nothing like that. And he made it to high school. I dropped out of middle school, and as soon as I dropped out, I started going to selling drugs and doing things like that.
You're mad at yourself?
I'm mad about the decisions that I made. I made the choices.
So it's not Alaska.
No.
And it's not the friends you chose to hang out with.
No.
It's not your mom.
It's my fault.
But you said your mom taught you,
Because I was raised better.
Yeah.
But still, I didn't have the things that I wanted. My mom bought the things that I needed. Financially, we had problems, coming up. But then I started selling drugs, and my mom didn't have to spend no money on me.
There's a kid out there, right, who's got single father or single mother, whatever, and they can't pay their bills. And they could get easy money, like in less than an hour, to help their mom or their dad pay the bills. What would you tell them?
That ain't the way to get it. That's not the way to get money. There's a lot of things you could do.
I won't have Jordans like everybody else.
You don't need Jordans. If you're going to go and buy Jordans instead of buying food, then that's your choice, and you got to live with the consequences. But that's not the way to go.
What do you care about now?
All I care about is my family. That's all that I care about.
Whose fault is it for you being here?
It's mine. I made the choices. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can say, you're going to go out and beat somebody up. You're going to go out and get drunk and get caught. And nobody else can make your choices for you. And I made the choices to fight. I made the choices to drink. It's the choices not going to school, and they led to me being here.
So what are some advice that you have for parents?
I think some kids need to know that their family cares, because when kids start to do bad and stuff, their family has a tendency they'll be there for them, but they don't show it. They kind of just let them do what they do because they don't know what else to do.
So what would that look like? Showing them that they care. What does that look like?
I think talking to them would help a little bit, because I know my parents never talked to me about it. They just they didn't know what to do. And even if you're out doing behaviors that will get you in trouble and stuff, you may not even be close to your family at the time. You may not acknowledge how much you care about them because you're worried more about everything else. But when they actually take you away from your family, it hits you. And you'll understand how it feels. You always know inside that you love your family and stuff, but you don't show it because you're out partying or just not doing things that show you care. And when you're in treatment, you miss them a lot, especially if you go somewhere where your family is not available to you. It gives you a lot of time to think about why you were doing what you were doing. Because you sit here and say how much you love your family and you miss them. Well, were you ever there when you were on the outs? Did you spend time with them? That thing. I mean, if you like wearing your own clothes, you don't want to come here. You got to wear these clothes. And if you like to, I know a lot of kids don't like to be told what to do, when they get a shower, when they got to wake up, when they go to bed, when they eat. Like, nobody likes that, being told how to run their own life and have to work on certain issues. I know I don't like to do it. I'm sure they wouldn't either. I mean, treatment's not a walk in the park. They bring up a lot of issues that will make you think. And you gotta bring up things that you may not have brought up your whole life, things that are really difficult for you, and you may be about to talk about them. And it's real hard to go from being free and having fun to being locked up. I mean, and if you keep doing it and keep doing it, and eventually you get instowed, then it's even worse. I mean, you got it to your order, and it's up to you if you get out early or not. I just think that kids should think more about why they're doing what they're doing and what they really want. Do they want to be away from their family? Do they want to be able to go to schools? And do they want to hang out with their friends and stuff and wear their own clothes and be there for birthdays and stuff? Like, those are just things that you don't always get here. I mean, yeah, you'll be here for your birthday, somebody else's birthday that's here, but you miss your mother and your father's birthday. It's just a lot of things that you miss being locked up, and I think that people should think about what they really care about before they go on and doing what they're doing.
So what do you think would get youth to really understand how challenging it is to be in a place like this? What do you think would be something that would help them?
I think that just having people come in and talk to them, or maybe if they know somebody, like being able to hear from people inside how it is, what you have to do, what the routines are.
But what if some students are like, or some youth are like, yeah, whatever, that's not going to happen to me? What would you say to them that's going to make them say, hey, look, this is real?
I used to sit there all the time saying, I ain't never going to get locked up. My first time going to treatment, I met a girl that was here, and I said, oh, I'm never going to go there. And a couple years later, here I am.
So what do you think happened?
And I just let it run through my head, they'll never do it, then I'll just keep getting out. And they'll never put me in too long. I'll always get out. I figured I'll just get my treatment done and over with, and then I'd run and mess up again. And it just, like, even when they told me, if you keep doing this, you're going to go to McLaughlin, I was just like, they won't do it. It's not something that would happen to me. I thought that I knew what I was doing. I thought that I could run forever. I thought that they would never be able to catch me. They could never get me into a place long enough. I'd just keep running. I'd have to worry about anything.
Would you say a lot of youth feel that way?
I think a lot of youth think that they're smart enough and they know what they're doing. They'll always get caught. I mean, you may not get caught for years, but eventually you will. And it ain't fun when you do. The longer you keep doing it, the worse it gets. Your behavior gets worse. You use more, you steal more, it depends on what you do. But it gets worse over the time. And so when you do get caught, your charges could be bigger than it would have been if you would have gotten caught 3 years earlier.
How does your family feel about you being here?
My family, it's really hard on my dad, because my dad's tried really hard over the years to be there for me and my brother, because my brother's going through a lot of the same issues, and he's institutionalized too. My dad, I know he hurts a lot because he misses us, and he feels that it's his fault. He feels that he wasn't there for us when he needed to be, that he wasn't taking care of us, raising us right, when it wasn't his fault at all. It had nothing to do with it.
Have you told him that?
Yeah, it was one of those hard conversations you gotta have. They come along when you finally realize that what you did wasn't right and how it really affected your family. And came out and tell him, I'm sorry, and it's not your fault. I mean, I did it purposely when you were gone. I mean, he'd go to work and he couldn't know if I was skipping school or where I was or what I was doing. We just took advantage of him because he tried to work, and he worked really hard to be able to take care of us, and he got himself a place so he could take us in and stuff, and that was a big step for him. I know my mom hurts too. I know that my brother, me being here, hurts him. I know that he doesn't like it when I get in trouble and when I'm away. They know I need help, so in a way they're happy that I'm finally involved in treatment and actually doing something, but they do wish I could have done a lot different so I could be home.
Are you going to adult jail?
Am I going to adult jail? I can't say that I am, but I can't say that I'm not either.
Why is that?
I don't want to.
What's going to stop you from going?
I had to change.
In what way?
I gotta stop stealing, I gotta stop fighting, stop using drugs and alcohol.
You think a place like this is going to help you stop running, stop using alcohol?
I don't think this place is gonna stop me from doing it. I mean, all they can do is give me what they know, give me the information and everything I need to know, and supports and ways not to do it, skills to not be so angry and ways to deal with it. But it all depends on if I want it or not. If I want to change, if I want to quit using it, if I want to stop fighting. I mean, I'll always have a choice no matter where I go or what situation happens.
Do you want to change?
I do. I use drugs and alcohol to get away, to avoid feeling hurting feelings that I feel. Abandonment from my mom and stuff. Yeah, it's when I started using. And throughout the years, it just grew. Something I wish I would have found something else to do.
So, what do you miss by being here?
I miss my freedom. There's a lot that I did to get here, so I can't really say, I want my freedom back, but I do miss my freedom, just being able to be out there, doing what I want, going to regular school, being with my family. There wasn't many times that I was with my family, but just getting to go out there, doing what I want, and then coming back to see my family whenever I wanted. I miss that the most. My mom was really strict on us, but I never listened to her. I still went out and did what I want, as in going out there, hanging out with people that I knew she'd disapprove of, doing drugs, partying. I disrespected myself in a lot of ways, doing things that I know my mom would hate.
Why do you think your mom hated those things?
I've had a lot of family problems growing up, and due to the fact that I didn't have anybody to turn to and say, hey, I'm having this problem in my family, turn to schools, they don't understand. My counselors, oh yes, Janie, I understand this. No, you don't. You've never been there before. I can't speak to someone who hasn't been there before. So turn to drugs, because that's the only thing that eases my mind. Like, I don't care about anybody. I'm pretty much nonchalant. So
Your mom understands.
yeah, she understands, but she's more blocked. I try to talk to my mom, but I don't want to call her ignorant about it, But that's how I feel sometimes when I talk to my mom about things. I feel this way. We shouldn't be feeling that way. Oh, you're just talking stupid. Oh, you're just thinking stupid. You'd think that my mom would be the main one to understand, but my mom just stopped doing all that just a few years ago. So it's been a hard time communicating with her because she's just getting out of that lifestyle.
What would you say to other parents who may be in similar situation as yours, who may be feeling similar things?
Sometimes when your kids are out there and they're doing things that you taught them not to do, there's something wrong. I mean, my mom taught me right from wrong. My mom always told me, this is right, this is wrong. She was pretty much there holding my hand the whole time, but I never listened because there was always something else that I wanted to do. There was always a piece of me missing. So when your kids are out there doing stuff that you know you didn't teach them to do, there's something wrong with them. And I just encourage you guys to talk to them more. Even if they don't want to talk, don't pressure them. I know when my mom wanted to talk to me, I didn't want to talk to her. She like pretty much walk away from me. She didn't come back. She just kept walking away. She just kept running away from her problems. If your kid doesn't want to talk, give them some time. They'll end up coming around, because the more you show them that, hey, I'm here to talk, the more they wonder, the more they notice, my parent does care for me. My parent does want to talk to me. There's a lot of kids that say, oh, this person's my homie. They got my back. But once you're in here, nobody's going to show you love. Like, nobody. Because there's a lot of kids out there that you look up to that you say, oh, he wants me to do this. He wants me to do that. I'm going to do it. That person's not going to be here for you. If you have family, your family's going to be the only one there for you. That's the biggest thing that most kids have to avoid is peer pressure, because I think that's what a lot of kids these days are looking, is to make an image for themselves and to have their name be out there infamously. And it's not something cool. You don't gain respect by that. You may gain respect, but from who? From people you could care less for? From people that you think you care for? What about those who love you? Like those who really love you, who actually care for you? You lose respect from them. And that's the actual respect that counts in the end.
So missing family seems to be the theme for a lot of the youth who've been here.
Well, whenever I was on the outs, I was never with my family because I was always using, so whenever I was around them, it was kind of like a fight all the time. I didn't think that they were important because I thought other things were more important than them, but when I came here and when you're sober and in the right state of mind, you realize how important your family really is to you. The first time I used hard drugs, I was 11. I'm 17, so I'll be 18 in 2 months about.
So why do you think you were using?
Because I was trying to get away from problems. I never felt like anybody really cared about if I did good or if I did bad. I just thought the only reason why she wanted me to change is because I'm bringing up bad things, and I never felt like she actually wanted me to change for me. Me and my mom never had a good relationship at all, and now she visits me sometimes, and we're getting along a lot better. At first, whenever she first visited me, she used to say that she used to walk out of here and wonder why she even came here in the first place, but now we're starting to build back a relationship that we've actually never had before. At first, it just started out fun with my neighbor. She was my best friend growing up, and it was just fun, doing it. And then whenever she passed away because she overdosed, but I kept doing it afterwards, and I just started doing it, kind of escaping my problems.
I would think that seeing my best friend die from overdose would impact me more than coming to a place like this.
I was doing a lot of real hard drugs, and I overdosed a lot of times, and I never even cared about anything. You think that whenever I had flatlines the second time I would have thought, hey, you know, this isn't leading me anywhere but bad. But I just kept going, and I wish that I could have realized so long ago. I wish I could have realized when I was 14 when my friend OD'd. I wish I could have realized.
But you still kept using even after seeing what happened to her.
Yeah, I don't think I served her memory very well. I'm not saying it will be easy. I know that it'll be a struggle for me every day that I'm out there. I'll always have that want to go back and do that, but I just know that I need to be strong and stand for what I believe in and not fall into peer pressure, because it's not the cool thing to do to go waste the time that you spent trying to get a better life and ruin all the damage and hurt and break all the trust that you've just built back up with your family.
So what do you miss having since been locked up? What do you miss out there?
The ability to go see your family whenever you want and to go talk to them. And my sister's having a baby and I can't see it, and her kids are already talking and I haven't seen them in years. I used to hate my family. I never cared about them one bit. I was rude to my family. I was physically abusive to my mom and emotionally abusive to everybody. They didn't even want me around because I was just more pain to have around than I was good. But when I stopped using and further down the road, I wish I could go and take it back, because my family is the most important thing to me now. And I never thought they would be before, but whenever you're on the right track and you're doing good, it really shows in your family. I think that if I could tell the parents advice, you know, to be there for their kids and not just let them do whatever they want because they think, you know, I'm the cool parent. I you know, they'll like me, but it all just goes downhill whenever you're too loose with your kids, or sometimes when you're too strict with your kids, they'll want to rebel. You got to know where that line is between you and your kid, but I think that having a good relationship with them is very important.
But I mean, there's some parents who, you know, who do that, who set, you know, curfews and set rules and guidelines and stuff, but yet some students or some youth think that's, you know, too much, or they spend time talking to their child. It's nagging, you know, so I don't understand, like.
I think that it could be good if, you know, a parent and her child, if they agree on something, a curfew, if it's reasonable, I think that the child would want to obey that more if she wasn't just set a time like 10 o'clock and maybe they want midnight, but they could just agree on 11 or something reasonable that's not way out of reach.
What do you care about now?
A lot. I care about other people and their feelings, and I used to be real mean, real rude. I didn't care about anybody, but I think I've changed a lot. I care about what other people feel. I don't like people getting hurt or made fun of, and I really care about my family, and I never did before. I never thought I did. I always told my friends, oh, I'm gonna be that one person that never talks to their parents when they go older. I hated my family, and now I think that they're the most important thing I have.
Every parent wants their child to grow up happy, healthy, and successful. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. Those kids who have made mistakes can give us great insight into what parents can do to help their children succeed. As these kids have just told you, you need to talk to your kids, even when they act like they don't want you to. Spend time with your kids and take an interest in what they are doing, even if they don't seem to care. Set limits for your kids. Encourage them to do well in school. Listen when they talk to you. Also, part of how we help our kids succeed is to take care of our own issues as parents. Kids are affected by family stress caused by substance abuse and parental conflict. Parenting is hard, but being a kid is hard too. Please get the help you need to keep your life sorted out for your kids. All these stories also show us never give up on your kids. Parenting is a lifelong commitment, and sometimes kids make bad choices and have to learn the hard way. But given support and encouragement, they can eventually turn their lives around.